Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we here. We are here. Welcome to this episode of Quick Tag, and we are here to discuss the NXT 2.0 after War Games. Now, if you listen to us discuss War Games, it was a super meh out of 10. And let's discuss NXT and where it's supposed to take us going forward. First up, Kyle O'Reilly, Von Wagner, steel cage match. Now, after their tag team title match on Sunday, Von tried to betray Kyle. Kyle seen it coming, gave that boy Von a two-piece combo with the biscuit, threw up the UE, and he even, gave him some of them DX crotch chops. And he was like, well, fine, we're going to have this cage match. Typical cage match. The only difference was you knew Kyle was out the door. So, of course, in typical WWE fashion, you can never just leave just to leave. You got to get the shit beat out of you. But Vaughn won the match. Then after the match, he proceeds to trio Kyle in the ropes and somewhat slams the cage in his face a couple times. But hey, excuse me, it's the send off they want to give O'Reilly. That's what it is. I thought O'Reilly's contract was up rather later this month, but apparently it's up now. So that is most likely O'Reilly's send off with him getting brutalized by Wagner in the steel cage. Next up, we get Briggs and Jensen versus the Creed brothers. Now, before this match kicked off, Braun Breaker came in the ring and was like, "Yeah, you, I pinned Tommaso. Tommaso pinned me. The way I see it, we 1-1. I want that belt, fam." And who steps into the ring? Malcolm Bivens and Diamond Mine, Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers, show up and was like, "Hey, yo, say Braun. Well, sorry. Say LeBron. Can I call you LeBron? I'm going to call you LeBron." I don't know if you heard LeBron, but Roddy is the champ around here, LeBron. So if you really want to prove yourself, you will go against Roddy, LeBron. So how about it? You versus Roddy next week, LeBron. And LeBron was like, "Look, whatever I got to do to get to Tommaso, I'll go through your boy. I'll see him next week." And the funniest shit was when Breaker was leaving, he kind of bumped up against Bivens, and like the little scream and reaction Bivens gave was just amazing. Y'all know how much I love Bivens. Unfortunately, this is a quick tag, so I can't just spread my love to Bivens like that. But just know, Jaeger and Dizzle, I'm gonna make y'all fans of Bivens yet. Malcolm Bivens. But we get to this match. Creed brothers already in. Briggs and Jensen comes, and then we got GYV on commentary. Apparently, GYV is on this thing with Briggs and Jensen. If they want to teach them lessons or something, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not liking the way they're treating GYV at the moment. So, whatever. But one of the things they did was, I think it was Drake. He took the I think it was Gibson, one of the two. He took the tag rope out so that way Jensen could never tag in. Or was it no, Briggs couldn't tag in. So Jensen basically did the whole match against the Creed brothers by himself. Blah blah blah, kerfuffle. One of the Creed brothers gets rolled up. Briggs and Jensen win anyway. GYV's plan backfired, and then it led to a thing backstage, and they was talking to Jacket Time, and then GYV came up. Caden and Casey walked by talking about they got concert tickets. Briggs and Jensen took it. Words were exchanged. Jacket Time and GYV started scuffling. whatever. But yeah, Briggs and Jensen gets the W. Then we get Dexter Loomis versus Carmelo Hayes with Trick, aka Trick Williams. Of course, Melo is still banged up from War Games. Trick is a little banged up too because it was supposed to be Trick and Loomis, but apparently his eyes got injured from Loomis, so he couldn't do the match. So Hayes accepted it. Pretty standard match, nothing spectacular. It was a TV match. It wasn't for the title or anything. Excuse me. But it ended with, I think, Loomis going for the silence or doing the silence. Trick hits Loomis, causes disqualification. Loomis wins by DQ. Then we get Toxic Attractions, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, or Cheek Dolan, as Lip Dizzle so eloquently put it during our recap. But we get Toxic Attractions, the women's tag champions, Cheek Dolan and JC Jane versus Yulissa Leon and Valentina Feroz. I mean, let's face it, we knew who was going to win this match. It was no secret. Toxic Attraction gets the W. Then Mandy gets in the ring. They talking they trash. Like, even though we lost War Games, we're still the champs around here. And whoever wants to step up, whether it's Cora J, whether it's Raquel, whether it's EO, she conveniently left out KLR. But hey, Cora J showed up, arm in a sling, and she was like, "Look, I'll fight you. I'll give you that smoke." And she was trying to go in the ring, and then right when Toxic Attraction was going to do a 3-on-1 beatdown, Raquel shows up with a chair, help him out. There was a backstage segment where Raquel was like, Cora was like, "Yeah, I want that title shot." Raquel was like, "Look, I admire your spunkiness, but I'm still next up." To me, it feels like they're gonna probably give Raquel maybe one more shot. And then kind of like how I predicted earlier in the year, except that it changed. I think Raquel's gonna get one more shot, and most likely she's probably gonna kind of linger, and I'm pretty sure her debut on the main roster might be the Women's Royal Rumble. I kind of predicted it. I said only thing that changed was that she lost the belt earlier than I expected, because I thought she was going to lose the belt around now and then debut in the Royal Rumble. But it kind of seems like they're doing the last little bits with Raquel for her she gets her send off. Then KLR gives Cora her bat, and KLR was like, "Look, I don't need a bat to be dangerous, whatever." So that's what happened with that segment. We also get Santos Escobar of Legado del Fantasma versus Zion Quinn. Elektra Lopez, though. If you didn't see it, Elektra Lopez, though. But once again, this has been a rivalry that's kind of been here for some weeks. It's there. The match ended with Zion being laid out, Elektra sliding brass knucks on his hands. When he woke up and realized it, Wild R Mendoza tried to interfere, then he threw the knucks to them. Santos did something to Zion, then hit the Phantom Driver, 1, 2, 3. Santos was looking at Elektra like, was those knucks for him to use against me, or for him to distract me, or for him to be distracted? So we got to see where all of that goes with whole Elektra and Zion, and now the whole Legado situation. But once again, Elektra, though. Before we get to the meat and potatoes because that was technically the last match of the night. Throughout the show, of course, we got segments. Grayson Waller had a segment where he was trying to holler at some woman. She was like, "Nah, I got a date. I'm good." And then he was like, "Well, who's your date?" And then it ended up being LA Knight. And then and then LA Knight was like, "Well, since you like likes and views, how you like this view?" And then Grayson was like, "Well, fine. I'm gonna get my views tonight." Tony D'Angelo was back there talking. He still has his beef with Pete Dunne, aka Petey Poppins. He even has his mouth guard in a little collector's glass case. And then Andre Chase walks up and was like, blah 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 blah. They're gonna fight next week. Andre Chase was like, who even talks like that anymore? But whatever. We finally meet MSK Shaman. It is none other than former NXT Tag Champion, former NXT Dusty Classic winner, current Raw Tag Champion, Matt Riddle or Riddle. He's their shaman. He's trying to, I guess, help them get back in their tag ways. It kind of makes sense personality wise, considering they're kind of making the three of them stoners without making them stoners. It makes sense that Riddle is their shaman. I mean, he was very tenured in NXT. Like I said, he's current tag champs with Randall Orton right now. It makes sense. So it seems like for now, Riddle might be doing a little double duty. He might be, I don't know if he's going to actually be in the ring, coming to the ring with them, or just doing vignettes. But it seems like for now, Riddle might be doing double duty. After their respected matches, uh, Diamond Mine was walking in the parking lot. Carmelo Hayes confronts Diamond Mine, mainly Bivens, talking about you realize you talking about Roddy being this type of champion, but you know I'm the A champion around here and this, that, and the third. You know, trying to talking his talk, talking his shit, because you know when Carmelo shoot, he don't miss. Then after Hayes and Trick walks off, Bivens is like, why is everybody so sensitive around here? Like, what is happening? Once again, Bivens forever. And I mean that forever. Um, Hudson was supposed to debut his new hairdo. He comes out in this blonde little wig talking about everybody wants to talk about I got my head shaved and this, that, and the third. But as you can see, I got a luscious head full of head full of hair now. So how did I lose? Blah blah blah. Grimes music hits and then he puts the chin strap on. So they kind of basically doing the old Kurt Angle gimmick. Duke is all like, you won because you cheated, you grabbed a handful of tights. They're gonna run it back next week in a no holds barred. I have a feeling Hudson is gonna win that. I don't know if we're gonna see the reveal of Hudson's hair, but yeah. Tiffany Stratton once again had another promo. Apparently, she's a former gymnast. And this is what I thought was the funniest thing about her promo. She basically said she was going to try out for the 2016 Rio Games, but Daddy told her team sports is really not your thing. And she basically said, I would rather win the NXT Women's Championship than have a gold medal. The fuck? Nobody would say that. No athlete would say, hey, I'd rather be a champion in any wrestling promotion than have a gold medal. Then next we get Johnny G coming out. They gave him time because Johnny didn't come out to about 9 o'clock. So they were saying he had all the time to get his stuff off. Because as y'all know, War Games was his last match. he signed extensions. So War Games was it. There was no reports of him signing a new contract. Same thing with O'Reilly. So he got a chance to come out there and talk. Very heartfelt speech. Get the words out, Scoot. It definitely felt like the end. Like it didn't feel like this was one of them things where he signed the contract and they were trying to make a story. No, he it was very heartfelt. It was very retire-ish because like he was listing all type of people saying things. And then now to go back. During the Grayson Waller segment, he said at the end when Knight drove off, "Oh, I'm gonna definitely get my views right." Okay. Now we back. All right. So they cut the camera, they angled the camera in a certain way, and as Johnny talking, you clearly see the crowd amping up, and they're trying to get Johnny's attention. And who is it? Grayson Waller with a chair. He starts beating up Johnny with the chair. Then he starts beating Johnny up, period. Then he power bombs him through the announce table because he's like, I'm going to get my views. I'm Mr. NXT now. I'm going to be remembered because I took out Johnny G. And ultimately, that's how NXT ended. Of course, there was on the internet, there was photos of Johnny and Kyle basically giving their goodbyes. Sean came out, showed love to them both. Tommaso and Johnny shared the ring again. You can see Johnny tearful and everything. So it definitely looked like it's the end for both. Especially with Johnny was like, hey, come February, Candace is having a baby. So, you know, I'm definitely ready to be a father and all this. So I don't know if Johnny is going on hiatus or he might just pop up at different promotions here and there until the baby comes in February. We'll see for both of them. But in typical WWE fashion, you can't just have a goodbye without having a goodbye. You got to get beat the fuck up. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, they got beat up so bad that they're just not here anymore. Whatever. The issue I'm kind of having with all of this was, what was the reason for War Games? It seemed like War Games had no repercussions because Gacy moved on because he's going to be debuting Harlan next week. Hudson and Grimes are running it back. It's just not hair versus hair. The women, Toxic Attraction is still like, hey, even though we lost, we still Toxic Attraction. Like we still got all the gold and whatever. The men's War Game side, it's just like the NXT 2.0 guys won, but it was just like there was no glory for it. So I don't know. It's weird that it was like, what was the reason for War Games if it kind of felt like everything is moving accordingly? I don't know. It's whatever. But hey, that was basically NXT 2.0 or the NXT after War Games. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Definitely appreciate y'all for showing up and showing out. But you know, like Dizzles like to say, whether you liked it, hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, preferably the thumbs up. If you can give two, even better. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Especially subscribe. You won't see the content unless you subscribe. Because the beauty is once you hit that subscribe button, bing bong, you in the tag infrastructure. We here. Quick tags, tag me ins, hot tags, Jaegers after dark, scoot breaks. We here. You gotta just subscribe. You basically get the keys to the kingdom, and you're welcome into the fam. Shout out to Jaeger. Shout out to Look. Too sweet to the Brodies. Bow. And like Lip so eloquently puts it, don't forget to tag out. Peace.